explain further. So welcome to Burgess Power Hour, and I am thrilled to have all of you here. And if you're on the phone or if you're in person on video, awesome. If you're looking at the recording or listening to it, welcome, welcome. Today is going to be about United We Fly, woo-hoo, and Divided We Cry, woo-hoo, okay? And bridging differences and how to do that. And I don't know about you, but I feel like there's been a lot of angst in the world. And certainly with the pandemic and all the things that have been happening, I just want to make it relevant for all of us to give us tools and an experience tonight. And thank you for taking your time to being with me. And I'm going to keep you all unmuted until we do this meditation. Then I'm going to mute everybody. And I certainly, like I said, normally what I do in the power hours is if you've just, this is your first time, welcome. Normally we do a lot of experiential stuff. I share some information and experiences with you, and you get to kind of dive deep into what's going on in your life. And we're going to do some of that tonight. However, I am going to do, like I said, a meditation, which will be a little different. And so the meditation itself is a tool that you'll be able to use. You'll be able to have it downloaded. So it's my gift to you. And I've got some background noise. If you can mute yourself, please. If you've got background, you can hit *6 if you're on the phone, or if you're in Zoom, just mute yourself on the bottom left, okay, of your screen. So what I'm going to do is give you this tool that I'm going to give you once we start talking about what tonight's all about. You'll be able to download it and use it anytime. All right. It's flushing the fear. It's flushing the anxiety of perhaps what might be going on with people right now, but also helping you bridge the difference of, not, maybe you've got some family members or friends or people that, it's how do I talk to them, and how can they hear me, and how can we hear each other, and how can we unite again, because what's going on in the world is a macrocosm, and then there's the microcosm in our own little orbits, right, in our family, about people aren't listening to me. So would you agree that we're kind of like playing that a little bit? Yeah. So those of you who are on the video, I know you can just nod, or you can speak because I haven't muted you yet. So, but this 10-minute meditation that we're going to go into a little bit later, I will mute you. You will experience it if you choose to. If you go in and out, I just ask you to, since I'll have you muted, to come back in without interrupting people, right? And then we'll share perhaps a little bit after that, just so I can kind of gauge how you're feeling. And like I said, we don't normally do meditations on the Power Hour, but I felt like this would be appropriate. So hi, Sandra, I'm glad you're here. Yay. And Wolf, welcome. And he's got his cat. Isn't that funny? And Deborah, hello, Sharon. And I have a lot of callers, so I'm not sure who the callers are, but welcome. Okay, so yeah, let me just dive right in. Yeah, and if you want, you can take notes. We're not going to do necessarily like we normally do, where you kind of dig around in your subconscious about some things, but you might want to take some notes and just be ready to experience tonight. All right. I've been a little bit concerned about our sense of loss of connection. And that's why I wanted to share with you tonight about maybe how to unite us and how we can fly together. And divided we cry, meaning that I think for some people, we may have forgotten that we're all one people and that we're all connected, at times. And what we say and do and feel affects everybody and everything, even if you don't think so. I feel like the isolation that perhaps people have been under in this pandemic and other types of places that you've been, perhaps, it's easier to go to your corners, right? It's easy to go, I'm just going to go to my corner. You have your opinion, you have your life, I'll have my life, I'll have my opinion, and never the twain shall meet. And there has been a lot of breakups and divorces and, God forbid, people just exiting, you know? And I just feel like it's easier to be anonymous now with all the social media, and all the different things that are going on in the world and how to communicate and divide us. And it's not about necessarily just politics. It can be a lot of things. Many of us are struggling, perhaps, maybe you, with maybe how's it all going to work out? And how do I have a voice? And how can I express my truth while still creating harmony and goodwill? Because most of us that are drawn to these power hours you are light workers, whether you know it or not. You are wanting to make a difference in the world. So, not everything is black and white, or Republican or Democrat, or right or wrong, or physical or non-physical. People feel like they have to compromise, perhaps. And just ask yourself, am I compromising? What does that feel like to me to compromise? And I want to give you a distinction around that, okay? So we don't necessarily have to compromise. We can listen to each other and have empathy for other people's opinions. But my suggestion is that we should be able to tell our truth. I don't like shooting on people, but I feel like I'm intending for us to really get clarity around telling our truth with compassion. Because everybody wants to be heard. Yeah? You want to be heard, yes? Just nod with your phone. Okay. Yeah. So the thing is, can we be heard, and can we tell our truth with compassion without giving up our own beliefs? How can we create synergy? And those of you who've done Essence of Being, I'm a big thing about synergy, about how to create 1 + 1 = 3, meaning that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That means that you can have your view and another person can have their view, and the two views could be entirely different. So how do you create harmony out of that? And there's some background noise. If you could please mute yourself. Okay. I hear some clanking there back there. So no one has to agree to something they can't swallow, right? I mean, you don't want to say, yeah, I agree, when you really don't, because that's not staying at integrity with yourself. So no one has to be right. I know could be a very crazy thought, but nobody has to be right, and no one wins or loses. Go figure. Does it have to be that way? So maybe what we can do is come to a consensus. And let me give you the distinction about finding a resolution to bridge our difference, as opposed to compromising. Because if you compromise, sometimes that feels like you're giving in, right? That you're giving in, and then it could feel like you are leaving it open for, you owe me next time. I'll agree with you now, but you owe me for next time. There are strings attached, perhaps. Does that ever happen? Yeah, it's like, I'll agree, but it's my turn next time. So the consensus part is, the distinction for me is, when you come to a resolution or you come to consensus, it's not that you're agreeing, it's that you're agreeing to support the decision, or you're agreeing to support that you have differences of opinion, without having to feel like you've got to pull somebody over and say, think like I do. What I'm right, you're wrong. And so a consensus can bring about a whole nother way of looking at it. And compromise, like I said, can feel differently because you feel like you've got to give in, and it feels like you're not being heard, perhaps. Okay. So I just wanted to give you a different distinction about that. So don't hold on to it. So if you disagree with somebody, and you're triggered by that, or if they're triggered by you, you don't have to hold on to it. Refocus your attention. And believe me, I'm going to give you some tools at the end of the call today. I'm going to give you some tools on how to refocus your attention. But if you can just refocus and say, I choose to believe the highest good for all concerned. I always say that the highest good for all concerned, you know, especially when there's a lot of dysfunction or controversy or conflict. And I choose to create something, this or something better. I'm going to create this or something better. So what you're doing is you're kind of rising above. You're becoming an eagle instead
No,
of
maybe.
an eagle, and you're flying above and just kind of observing and saying, I choose, I'm not going to get mired down in the muck and the mire, and I choose to come to a resolution to create synergy. I agree to create consensus, which means that we are supporting the decisions that each other has, and it may not be the same decision, but I'll support your opinion, that's your opinion. Does that feel different? Yeah, I'll support your opinion. Okay, that's your opinion. No worries there. Instead of trying to convince people otherwise and be right. Okay, because right and righteous can, and I'm going to go into that a little bit later too. So, okay. All right. So, a little bit more. I want to share about the differences, but I'm going to give you a couple of distinctions before we get into it. All right. So, unity and duality. We want to be united. Well, what does that mean? So, duality is the opposite of unity. So, for instance, we live in a dual world still at times, that there's, again, Republican, Democrat, people of color, people not of color, there's men, there's women, there's the have and the have nots, there's the physical and the non-physical, and all seem separate from one another from time to time. Yes? Feel separate sometimes. So I feel the way toward our unity is realizing that humanity, I'm going to start waxing poetic here for a second, that humanity is on a trajectory of a readjustment, because we're coming into this great awakening. And it's of whatever you want to call it, universal consciousness, God consciousness, source, just another way of creating unity, because we're readjusting. So all these differences that we've had and that have really come up and have been exacerbated recently by the isolation, the fear, perhaps, pandemic, whatever's could be coming up for you, or why it's coming up for you. Out of the darkness, I want to remind us, this is a power hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, out of the darkness comes the light. Ah, okay. But which one are you focusing on, the light or the darkness? Which one? Light or dark? So there's this period as you cross through that boundary of black and white, and you move, well, from black and you move toward white, and or vice versa. And there, somewhere in the middle, there's gray. And it's a combination of both. So it can be uncomfortable when it could be scary because we don't sense that normal color of dark and light divisions. It's different. Things are different for us. And so it's like, wait a minute, this feels different. I don't want to go there. I want it to stay white. I want it to stay black. I don't want to go to the gray. What does that mean? But this whole process of moving towards something together, maybe you're on opposite ends. If you move towards something together, those of you who've done Essence of Being, you understand perturbation, yes? It's perturbation, meaning it's necessary sometimes for true growth. Think about it. This concept comes from dissipative structures, okay? That there's something has to happen, and there's a lot of energy that just forces something to pop and create something new. Like a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, like an acorn becomes the oak tree, like the pot of water that's boiling. You know, it's water and it boils and it starts perturbating on top, okay? It has this like feeling. And then all of a sudden, right after it perturbates, it turns into steam. So it's a Nobel Prize winner who came up with this Prigogine, came up with this whole concept. But the point is that sometimes we feel like we're going that we're perturbating, and what's really happening is we're turning into a more complex organism that sometimes it's necessary for us to go from that place to move to something else. For instance, if you think about the storm, nobody likes to be in hurricanes, or God forbid in the storm that's happening now with the ice and everything. But what happens from a storm is it creates new growth. Yes? Yeah. So the storm actually has a function. And while you're in the storm, nobody likes that. Dorothy didn't like the, tornado, but she landed in Oz. And of course, she realized it was all within her the whole time. Okay. So it is holding your shape as a light worker, okay, and a conscious leader, whether you believe you are or not. That's what we're working toward together in our global community, is this conscious leadership. So it's up to us as light workers to demonstrate holding our shape of higher consciousness while observing the discomfort of others as they move in and out of their comfort zones. Do you think, I challenge us, can we do that? Can we observe while we're watching everybody else go through what they're going through and observe that?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm asking all of us right now to rise above the pain and the fear and having to be right in order to create a new gray normal, because we are divine in our masculine and feminine together.
Hello,
Okay?
Ali.
Oh, I'm going to have to mute you all. Okay. I'd rather be happy than right. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So let me just mute you all. Okay. You're all muted, but you can all unmute yourself. Okay. So if you want to unmute, just hit *6 or unmute yourself down at the bottom left. All right. So this is what we're going to do together. We're moving toward a new humanity, toward a new earth and a new integrated consciousness. So from an eagle's eye point of view, ask yourself, what can I focus on? What am I focusing on? Am I focusing on what's working or what's not working? The media and our parents and our family and our friends and our bosses and our employees, maybe they're telling us all the things that aren't working. I know the media does, no matter what you're watching, or social media, for goodness sakes. But what are we focusing on? Things that are working or not working. So where your attention goes, your power goes. I'm going to say that again. Where your attention goes, your power goes. And again, of course, as you know, I say this all the time, what you focus on expands. So just notice, am I reacting to people with their differences, or am I responding? So I'm going to give you a choice here. You can react or respond. And again, those of you who've done Essence of Being, you know how I really hone in on that personal responsibility, meaning to not go below the line. When you blame other people or shame yourself or make excuses or justify, what you're doing is you're going below the line and nothing changes. It just makes you feel bad. It might make you feel like you're right. Okay, but it wastes time. There is no personal responsibility, taking responsibility for your own thoughts, your own beliefs, and your own actions. You're not responsible for anybody else. You're not responsible for their happiness. All you codependents out there, I see you. You're not responsible for everybody else's happiness. But you are responsible for your own thoughts and your own beliefs and your own actions. So my suggestion is, if you know that you need to be vindicated because you have to be right about your opinion, just again, would you rather be happy than right? And Sandra definitely beat me to it over there in the chat. Would you rather be happy than right? Which one? And last time I said that, somebody said, well, being right makes me happy. So that's nice. Okay, that's not the point, but they were just kidding, kind of. So hold your shape, meaning hold your integrity, hold the integrity of steel, the integrity of who you are, hold your shape, and just be mindful if you're in a vein. And what I mean by that, you know how mosquitoes get inside and they put their little stinger in and they're plucking out all the blood. They've got a vein. If they're in a vein, man, it's intense. So a lot of times people get into a conversation or they have differences of opinion about everything and they get into a vein. So pull out. Just be mindful. If you're in a vein, you don't have to stay stuck there. Okay, pull out, because remember, what you focus on expands, and it's your reticular activator in your brain. You've heard me say this before, those of you who've been with me. It's that part of your brain that really does what you focus on expands. When more you think about it, the more you create it. The more you focus on it, the more you see it. And it's an actual part of your brain. Just like when you buy a car, getting a new car, and you are going on the internet, you're looking for a new car and you're test driving it or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see that car everywhere where you didn't see it before. That's a reticular activator that really happens. So if you're focusing on all the things that aren't working, then that's what you're going to get more of. You're going to get more conflict, and that's your knee-jerk reaction, perhaps. So pull out of the vein, because you're not going to convince anybody otherwise if you're inside a vein. And then you become righteous. And righteous is a justification for a point of view that no longer works for you. Perhaps. Okay? So that's just another distinction. Righteousness means it could be a justification for a point of view that no longer works for you. So you want to be right, and you want to go down with the ship right. You want to be dead right. But when you're dead right, you're dead. Okay? So be mindful of really wanting to be right about everything or anything like that. It doesn't mean that if the other person's right or wrong and you're right or wrong, it does not mean that. It doesn't have to mean that. Just play with that dynamic with people in your life and see if it feels different for you. And another thing that came up for me is people have this willful ignorance. They don't want to be confronted with what they don't want to be confronted with. And just ask yourself, you could be that person, and we all, maybe it's another person, maybe it's you. But what I mean by willful ignorance is you don't know what you don't know, but you might know there might be something for you to know, but I don't want to know it. Because if I know it, then that means I'm wrong. I don't want to look at that. So we don't want to confront it. Okay. So I think the reason why that happens for a lot of people is because it's this feeling of feeling unsafe around growing and not wanting to be wrong about who they are and what they believe. And it basically is fueled by fear. It counters the vibration of love. Love and fear, those are the opposites, right? You're either in love or you're in fear. You either love yourself or you're in fear. So that also puts you into your reptilian brain when there's a lot of fear. It puts you into the flight, freeze, or fight. And ask yourself, how do I react? Do I run? Do I freeze? Do I fight? And if you're doing any of those three, just know that you're in your reptilian brain. And that's, again, you might be in a vein. So pull out. We want to, and one of the tools for you to do that is to do the pinch and shift. And I may have talked about this before. It's called pinch and shift. And what you do is you pinch yourself. So if you find yourself in a vein, or you're in freeze, flight, or fight, and you're in reaction, You just can pinch yourself on your hand or somewhere where you pinch, and it activates the prefrontal cortex in your brain. You didn't know you were going to get science tonight, did you? It activates that part because it's a pattern interrupt. It stops your pattern. It stops your thought process, okay? Because you're focusing on the pinch. And what I mean by pinch and shift, you pinch and you say, I choose to focus on something that serves me. So you can say, I choose to pull out. I choose to feel better. I choose to be happy. Then right. So whatever you're saying to somebody or whatever they're saying to you, just pinch yourself if you're in a vein and you feel like you just can't get out of it and there's no way you're going to feel like you're uniting anything. Just pinch yourself and say, I choose to feel happy. I choose to refocus. I choose to pray for the highest good for all concerned, or think about the highest good for all concerned, however you want to say it. But you basically will do a pattern interrupt. Make sense? Yeah. So use that pinch and shift. It accesses the prefrontal cortex because you're in pain. and that you can actually stop the reptilian brain, and you can stop it and say, okay, I'm going to choose something different. I'm going to refocus. So you can have control over your thoughts, I promise. You can choose to refocus, and I know it's hard sometimes, but that's even a thought, right? You can choose to control your beliefs, your actions, and that way you can fly. You can fly with a vibration of uniting, or you have a choice. You can stay stuck in divisiveness and pain and fear. The choice is yours. So let's go and do a little meditation. And this is a meditation that that you can use anytime where you want to dump out everything that's not working for you, and any angst that you might have, or fear, or just anger, or whatever it is, or upset or frustration about what's not working, and dump that out of your body energetically and emotionally. And then you bring in, on the other side, you bring in what you want and what you choose to have and feel, because it really is, it starts with you. Sorry, but it does. You know, I could give you answers all day long, but you have to kind of drink the water. So what I'm going to do is start the meditation. It's a recorded one that I have with music for you. And I want you just to be, if you're driving, don't do this. Just kind of like, you can listen or whatever, but don't go there. It's because, and you can turn off your video or you can sit there, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to be showing those of you who are on the video, I'm going to be showing something cool while you're going through it. So in case you open your eyes and you're looking, okay? But it's only going to be 10 minutes and then we'll come back and I have more tools for you and we'll go into some shares, okay, about whatever you want to talk about in this realm. Is that okay? Or if I may need to feel like I should change. Yes, definitely. You're right, Sandra. Okay. Anybody have any questions before I start? Just get comfortable in your chair. And hopefully you can, let's see, let me do this. I want to make sure that you guys can hear this. So, not sure how I'm going to be able to come back to let you know that, but okay. Hopefully you can hear. I'm gonna turn off my video, so I want you to hear this. So hopefully you can hear it through. It's only going to be 10 minutes, so here we go. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine. You can listen to it later, but come back so I can give you the big tools for tonight, okay? Close your eyes and focus your awareness on your breathing. Okay, I started it without you, so. Just become aware of your breathing. Oh, God. guess I have to share my screen, don't I? Okay, let me share my screen. That might be helpful. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Close your eyes and focus your awareness on your breathing. Just become aware of your breathing as it comes in, as it goes out. Notice how soothing and relaxing the breath is. Focus your awareness on the energy that is in your breath. Once again, follow this energy that is in your breath as it comes in the body and fills up the lungs. You become aware of your own breathing process, and this places the power and the energy of your life force in your thoughts. Divine energy is in every breath you take. With each breath you now take, you begin to release all tension and all stress from your mind and from your body. Your subconscious mind is the builder of your mental immune system and your physical body. It has the power to heal you, and your thoughts are the source behind that power. With each breath you take, you are safe, surrounded, protected, and guided by infinite intelligence and unconditional love from within. If you have been denying yourself self-love, self-approval, and self-acceptance in your life, whether through guilt, shame, anger, resentment, non-forgiveness of yourself or of others, you have been blocking the unlimited healing power of the healer within. We are going to move past all guilt, shame, anger, hate, resentment, and non-forgiveness. And we are going to release all false illusions created out of fear. You're going to leave behind all restrictions and all limitations. And you're using the unlimited healing power of forgiveness and self-love as the vehicle to travel inward and awaken this great and grand healer within. Refocus on your breathing, and this time, notice the complete and total relaxation that is beginning to flow throughout your mind and throughout your body with each breath that you take. It is also time for you to understand that this is the gateway to within. We are going to enter into a higher level of consciousness and self-awareness where you will understand that you are unlimited in your ability to use the power of your mind to heal your physical body and all areas of your life. This healing power has never been outside of yourself, but has always been within and connected to the universe and God. We are all one mind, and all healing is self-healing. Thoughts do heal. We are now going to go down a spiral staircase covered in your favorite color of carpet. There are 10 steps in all. As you go down these 10 steps, with each and every count, your body and mind will relax even more, letting go of all the stress and all the tension in your mind and body. 10. Body relaxes and your mind relaxes more. 9. Keep on going. 8, 7, 6. Mind and body relaxes more and more. 5. Keep on going down. 4, 3. Letting go. 2. Almost there. 1. Your entire body is totally and completely relaxed, with happy, contented thoughts going through your mind. Now we're going to recite some affirmations of love, strength, health, wealth, and happiness to affirm and embrace your new creative thinking, your freedom and joy. Silently say these affirmations in your mind. Every day, in every way, I radiate in the healing power of unconditional love for myself and for others. Every day, in every way, my heart is open to send this love and acceptance to others. The power to heal with love is unlimited. I now use this unlimited power to heal any area of my life. I now move past all limited and negative thinking. All negativity now flows through me without affecting me. I now find it is easy to forgive others and to release the past. The more I send love and healing energy and thoughts to others, the more I receive. I now lovingly embrace myself with healing affirmations of self-worth, self-acceptance, self-approval, and self-love. I now release all anger, resentment, judgment, and guilt that I have directed toward myself, or that I have allowed others to direct toward me. I now cherish myself as a great and beautiful gift which God has created. I love and approve of what I am, and what I am is great beauty and great strength. I now know that I'm a loving child of the universe, always protected and always safe. I now know and understand that there is absolutely nothing that cannot and has not been created by thought. I know that my thoughts are the building blocks of my future. I now choose thoughts of health, wealth, and happiness. I now move forward in life. I lovingly leave behind the past. I release it. I let it go. It is over, and I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free from disease. I am free from all restrictions and all limitations. I have total freedom now to create love, health, wealth, and happiness in all areas of my life. Now, as you continue to be so very relaxed, just let go, giving in and leaving it all behind. And say to yourself, I now let go of all those negative emotions feel all those negative feelings leave my body now, and I become lighter and lighter. I now bring forth forgiveness, kindness, happiness, health, prosperity, inner peace, and total unconditional self-love and self-acceptance in my life. I now bring to me all that I need to be, all that I am capable of being. I make the light within me shine brighter and brighter. I am so grateful for my life. I love me. I love and approve of myself always. I am strong. I am gentle. I am loving, and I am divinely protected and guided. I am at peace with the world, and I'm at peace with myself. I'm at peace with life. Visualize yourself now completely immune, spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally, to all negative people, places, ideas, beliefs, or experiences that may be around you. Self-love is self-acceptance. Self-love is self-worth. Self-love is unconditional love. Self-love is freedom. Self-love is the greatest love of all. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. At the count of 5, you'll be refreshed, alert, wide awake, feeling wonderful. 1, feeling good. 2, feeling loving energy throughout your body. 3, knowing that forgiveness is the only form of release. 4, slowly awakening, eyes starting to open. 5, eyes open, feeling wonderful, positive energy in every way. So be it, and so it is.
And it's time to come back if you're not back. Welcome. I played the wrong meditation.
Really? That was
Yeah.
fun, though. That was perfect. That's what I needed.
Well, let's just say that the universe was playing tricks on me, and I played not the meditation I was going to play, but how was that for everybody? You can unmute yourself.
It was great, and I think you played the correct meditation.
Me too. I agree.
It was just right on target.
Yeah. Me too. It was what I needed to hear.
Yes.
Especially when it talked about forgiveness as the only form of release. That seems so important to having the unity that we speak about, that
Mhm.
in the middle of that, along with self-love. So those two, I think it was in divine order.
And I think it's still, and it's also like confirmation of the fact of, your beliefs and I don't know, just being in your truth. Since you said that to me last time, being in my truth, I have done that with my daughter and my family and but not reacted to how they responded to it and just let it be. And it's just been so awesome. So that meditation was just a confirmation almost to me, that saying that, okay, I'm following the right steps, because my family is so happy that I'm not telling them what to do. I'm just telling them what works for me.
So it works, huh?
It works awesome. Oh my God, it's just like a new life I'm in right now.
Woo, woo, woo. I love it. I love it. I love it that, you can definitely practice. That's the whole point of all of this, is
Yeah.
practicing this and whatever we learn together and share, and putting it into your everyday life, and to say, to notice and be aware that it works. That's awesome.
It's great. I start every morning that way. I have to sit up for 15 minutes after I take my thyroid medicine so that 15 minutes, I surround myself with the light, the universe. I send it to my family. I send it to my friends, to whoever needs it, for the good of all. I do that every morning, and it just feels so good.
Good.
And it just starts the day out awesome in that meditation. I'm so excited. I want to hear it again.
Well, lucky you. Like I said, that was not meant to, but it's perfect in divine order. But you get it now, because it's going to come to you in the recording, so you can download it and always have it. Did you guys get to see the video of it or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we had to have our eyes closed, but I kept mine open for a little bit because I liked looking at the video.
Yeah.
I have to say, this is my first time in one of your power
Hours.
and I get the text messages all the time and everything, and then I'm either in the middle of cooking dinner or something or whatever. And tonight it just happened to come in at the right time, and I actually had a 7:30 appointment with my goddaughter on Zoom for her to show me the Christmas present I bought her, which I gave her a gift card, and she went shopping and bought clothes, so she was going to give me a fashion show. And I said, "Can we do it at 8 o'clock?" And every morning when I get up, I do my gratitude practice before I get out of bed, and then I journal when I get out of bed, and then after I'm done journaling, I have my Essence of Being cards, the box, and I pull a card every single day. And I don't know what the percentage is because I never really thought about it, and I will tell you this: when I pull a card that is in alignment with what I wrote for that day, I know that I am in the flow and in tune with my source. And it is just an amazing feeling, because when it happens, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
that is awesome. And when it doesn't happen, I know that I'm not in tune. And this just now, I was like, why haven't I been here before? Because everything happens for a reason. And tonight was the night I was supposed to be here and listen to this meditation, because it reminded me about how united we are, how connected we are. And that, yes, Deborah, the part about the forgiveness was big for me too, because there are some people who I haven't 100% forgiven, and that I've been trying to be right. And that's why I wrote, I'd rather be happy than right, because you reminded me that, yes, I want to be happy. I don't have to be right. And I'm so glad that I'm here.
That's
Thank you so
perfect,
much.
Sandra. Thank you for sharing that. That's perfect. And just so you know, those cards, and by the way, if you guys don't have them, you can just go onto essencebeing.com and look for products and get the cards, but they're infused with magic. So, and magic is just the things that science hasn't proven yet. So it's in alignment. They definitely give you a focus for the day, and more times than not, it's perfect for that for that day. And yeah, so divine timing all the way around. This is your first
Yeah.
one. I normally don't do meditations.
Yeah.
Normally
That's okay. That's why I was here. And even the ones that don't match, and I'm not saying that it's right or wrong or anything like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But ones that don't match what I think don't match what I wrote, there is a message in there usually. If
Yeah.
and as the more that I use them, the clearer each one of those messages is to me when it's not feeling in sync. And I'm like, okay, well then why did I pull this card? And when I think about it, I was like, oh, something else will come up for me that I need to, look at or whatever. So either way, it's pretty powerful. So yeah, definitely get the cards. I love them. They're beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have them. I love them too.
Yeah.
Well, someday, Sandra, you'll come to Essence of Being, girl,
Yeah.
and get the full Monty. So yes, so thank you all for sharing that so much. And again, divine timing and divine everything, I guess. So I just had to release my attachment. I'm like, what? This is not the. I was like, wait a minute, this is the wrong one. But I got a million of them, so don't worry. You'll get the others later. Okay. So good. So let me share with you then some tools on some practical tools that you can use to continue. Certainly listen to that meditation. And breathing is really good when you're doing it. But definitely you'll have that if you've registered for the call. You'll get it tonight or tomorrow. You'll get those. Okay, you'll get the recording. So just a couple. I want to go through a list of tools that you can use to really unify and how to bridge your differences. Okay, so remember to say what is the highest and good for all concerned. Okay. And how does this affect me or others? In other words, I don't know why my printer's going off. We just do all kinds of fun stuff here in this energy. All right. So you want to ask yourself, how is what I'm going to say affect myself or others? Remember to pull out of the vein if you're getting too close to the vein. Okay. So if you see people and you feel like you have a conflict with people or you're in angst, one of the cool tools that you can use is see them as little people. Is just kind of imagine what they looked like when they were little kids. So let's say that you're really upset with somebody and just kind of in your mind's eye go, I'm going to shrink them down so I can squish them. Now I'm going to shrink them down, right? So that they're little kids. And hold on. I'm sorry. This is just unbelievable. Stop. Okay. And you see their innocence. And when you're seeing their innocence as little kids, you're seeing yourself as innocent. So it reminds you of just meet them on the playground. Meet them on the playground in your mind's eye. Bring yourself into that little spot, okay? And meet them with your innocence and their innocence. And those of you who've heard me before, one of the other tools and techniques of finding your own innocence is you put a picture of yourself when you're a little girl, little boy on the mirror. And on the mirror, it will, you look at that in the morning, you look at that little picture and you say to your little boy, your little girl, and you say, you are innocent. And you say that 10 times with a breath in between to access that feeling place of feeling innocent. And then you look into the mirror at your own eyes and you say, you are innocent. And you say that 10 times with a breath in between. And then the third part of that is you say, I am innocent 10 times with a breath in between. So it's 3 parts. Look at the little picture of yourself, access that feeling place of that little person being innocent, because they are. Then you look in the mirror, say, you are innocent 10 times. And then change it to I am innocent while you're looking in the mirror. And remember to breathe in between each time. You do not want to say, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. And whether or not you believe it, whether or not you see the new evidence, whether or not you feel or can notice if there's any differences, then it just, trust me, that it sets your whole energy differently for the day. It'll set the tone for yourself, and just kind of notice how you feel the rest of the day. Okay.
Do I say that before or after I've eaten the last cookie?
And then it's so funny. And then law of appreciation always works. So think about one thing you can think about that person. Just think of one thing that you appreciate about that person.
Mm-hmm.
And you focus on that, because that'll raise your vibration, your level up. Even if it's a little thing like he brings me coffee in the morning. Okay. I appreciate it when they, whatever. It can be little, but what you're doing is you're refocusing, and you're raising your own consciousness up, your own vibration up to that level of appreciation. And remember, what you focus on expands. So what you will attract back to you is more appreciation, either from that person or other places.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, you get what you want, which is more appreciation. So sometimes you just have to stop, go, okay, I choose to think and appreciate about somebody this, whatever it is. And it works every time, because it refocuses and raises your own vibration. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then
yeah. I'm sorry, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
What if you don't have a picture of yourself as a child?
So your parents don't have anything, or
everything's gone.
Gone. Okay. So what you do is you put up something that reminds you of your youth. It can be a teddy bear. It could be something that you, or maybe it's you're a friend of yours kid, or your kid or something, but it's something that can access. The whole point of it is accessing that feeling place of innocence.
Yeah, teddy bear is perfect. I can't believe you just said that. That's perfect, because I have a whole thing around that.
Yes. Put your teddy bear up, honey. So that was my message for you. Okay. So I have messages that come. So, and I invite all you to come play with me on Saturday, because I'm going to be doing some cool channeling stuff that you don't even know about. But all right. So the last tool I want to give you is having conscious communication. And conscious communication looks like, there's basically 4 ways to have conscious communication. And I do a whole power hour and a whole class, a whole module, 9 weeks of communication, but I'm going to boil it down to you in 4 steps real quick. Basically, step 1 is just be present. Step 1 is be present. Anytime you want to make a change, your point of power is in the present. So you cannot change the past or the future necessarily. You can only shift on what's happening now, and that will affect your future. So this is especially important when it comes to better communication, because you must focus at the present moment to change anything, to be present in the body. And it can change your focus when you're having a conversation with somebody, being very present. And there's a lot of blocks to being present that I can't get into right now. But that's all of my communication class. But that's number 1. Number 2 is actively listen. And that's part of being present, but actively listening is a skill, because everybody wants to be heard. Would you agree?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And actively listening means basically, even if you are uncomfortable, even if it brings up feelings that people are sharing with you that you're trying to avoid, or if you find yourself cracking a joke or, delivering a quip because you want to change the direction or you don't want to talk about it, just notice that there might be a reason that you might want to uncover what that avoidance is for that. But actively listening is you are having empathy for the other person, putting yourself in other people's shoes, and you're not projecting your own thoughts or your own rehearsing what you're going to say next, or judging what they're saying, or checking out somewhere and not really listening, like you're doing right now for some of you. Okay. I see you and I hear you. Okay. So that's the second step. The third step, and I believe me, I'm rushing these. The third step is forget about being right. One of the biggest blocks to better conscious communication is the need to be right. Maybe you were never allowed to be right as a child, or maybe you felt like your opinion wasn't considered. So a lot of that can come from your past, and you're trying to change people's minds to make yourself feel like you're winning. Okay. So if you find yourself unable to hear suggestions from other people or admit mistakes while attempting to communicate with others, it might be time to let go of the need to be right, and understand that mutual understanding and empathy and compassion are far more satisfying, and the only way that you can really be happy. You know, you don't have to try to convince. Okay. It doesn't have to be dual. We're going toward unity. The fourth step is to, what is it? Oh, to tell your truth with compassion. So if you pretend to agree with people, even if it defies your own integrity, then your communication is not going to be real or authentic. Okay. So it's socially acceptable to be nice. However, it's spiritually inappropriate to avoid speaking your truth just to keep the peace, because it builds up resentment and it builds up a lot of issues down the road. Okay. And in order to stand in your own integrity and having those conscious communication, hold your shape. So, and this is the last part of it, I'll just finish with this. For me, the truth is. So if you start every conversation with, for me, the truth is, then you're setting the tone for you to have an authentic communication about your truth, because they can't disagree with you that that's your truth. They can not agree with what you're saying, but you cannot say, no, that's not your truth. So you're giving them a way to listen to you and for you to listen to them and let them speak their truth without having to basically project that you're wrong or they're wrong. Does that make sense? Okay. So, yeah. So the last thing I want to say about it is, because I went over a little bit, I apologize. If I can find it. Yeah. Let us fly and reach new heights of wonder and awe, okay, together. So it only takes one small action. And I really challenge us to keep the peace that can result, and that we can attract that peace even with the most polarized hearts around us. If we could just utilize these tools, and Karen's preaching that it works, so that's good. Right? So the next
it's been awesome. I mean, it's changed my whole daughter's and her boyfriend's attitude toward life. It's awesome.
Awesome too. Yeah,
and it was the fact too that I didn't push the way I wanted them to do it. I just gave them my truths, and this is how it worked for me. It might work for you. and it was just so awesome. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, honey. And so next month we're doing March. It'll be March 17th. Remember, it's the third Wednesday of every month. I do these power hours, and we're going to be sharing self-love and intimate ritual.
Oh boy.
All right. And go to essenceofbeing.com, everybody, and look for the event that's happening this Saturday. I invite you to come. It's going to be I'm going to be channeling Shamanasta, which is a whole nother realm. And if you go to essenceofbeing.com, just look at the schedule of events coming up, because I've got a lot of stuff going on, and I'd love to support, share all of this with you. And I appreciate your time tonight. And I'm sorry we went over, but you should get the recording soon. So if you guys want to unmute and just say, see you next time.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye, Burge.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Come play with me.
Wonderful, Burge.
Oh.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Come
Burge.
play with me.
All right.
essenceofbeing.com. Check out the schedule of events. It's gonna be cool.
Yes, definitely. Definitely go for it. It's awesome.
All right, honey. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.